All right, so Segu Sigwig, Oniuntiaga Nei, Wagasle, Wagani, Wagavilota. Hi everyone, I am Kelly House. I am Oneida and I am Bear Clan. And so this summer, my colleagues and I did a continuation of last summer's work, so 2019's work, in which we worked on our project called First Nation Students Perspectives on UWGB. So as a Native student on the UWGB campus, my peers and I often feel invisible and ignored, or hypervisible and singled out as like the expert in the majority of our public campus spaces and classrooms because of our tribal cultural identities. Overcoming these challenges often means that our success comes at the cost of our own personal well-being. And it is through this project that we hope to bring a greater awareness about two things. So one, what is it like to be a Native student on our campus? And two, how do we take those experiences and stories and address these issues on both an institutional and interpersonal level to make positive changes on our campus? So last year, my colleagues and I used this mapping software called Story Maps to mark exactly where on campus we found visible representations of Native Americans. It was an interactive map where you can find out not only where the images are, but what the images look like and an analysis of that image. We hope that with the completion of our interactive map, that the university will be better able to inventory their images and understand the true impact they have not only on Native populations, but also on non-Native populations. If we can better understand how one's environment influences a person's wellness and academic achievement, we hope that the institution will start making positive changes and be intentional with their imagery and replace bad images with good images. I'm happy to report that this Indigenous Peoples Day, so 2 days ago, our campus displayed the tribal flags of the First Nations in Wisconsin in our university union. And that was a direct effect of our research that we did last summer. And these are the images that we found across campus. We found a total of 38 images in public spaces across campus. So also last summer, we interviewed UW Green Bay undergraduate and doctoral students, alumni, faculty, staff, and administrators to see what the university already offers for our students, specifically for their Native students on and off campus. We also use these interviews as a firsthand account of what it is like to be a Native student on campus and have a chance for them to tell their story and for us to hear what's going good, what needs improvement, and what they want from their institution and their faculty and fellow peers. So, all of our interviews. We interviewed a total of 16 people, 5 of which were undergrad students, 3 were doctoral students, 2 were alumni, and 6 faculty members. This step took the longest in the process, but it was necessary to get a close look at the data we gathered through these interviews. So with the interviews transcribed, I was able to easily identify common themes between the interviews that we didn't find by only looking at research literature. These themes were invisibility, hypervisibility, separate spaces or bubbles as our students identified, lack of expertise by professors, and how staff and students can be better allies, and the benefits of having a strong Native American community on campus. And then with these themes, I developed a story outline for the documentary. I started picking out acts, which started with the setup that included basic information about the tribal nations in Wisconsin and demographics about the UWGB campus. It then moved into stories that our interviewees gave, starting with the bad and then moving towards the good, and then finally wrapping up the story with what's going well and how can allies and the overall campus be improved. So we are still in the process of finishing our documentary, and we are currently in the editing stages of it. When it is complete, we plan on showing it and having a premiere of sorts for the campus community and public during Indigenous Peoples Month, or sometime November, so next month. And we are planning to have it be 20 minutes long. And after the showing, we will have a panel, and we'll be having a question answer discussion on the topics in the film. The panel will be made up of our team and any of our interviewees that want to be a part of it. Overall, we hope that the documentary and project will promote community awareness for these issues and create a chance for our fellow Native students to let their voices be heard. So on this next slide is actually the trailer for the documentary that I put together, and you can get a glimpse of what the final product look like. hope it plays.
Kelly, you might want to share the audio. There's a little tab up there
The what?
to share the audio. So if there's audio on it.
Do I have to press a special button for that?
Yeah, I think on the top part, there's like a little green screen where that has share options, and you can click like
Okay.
computer audio.
Share.
My personal vision for UWGB is,
Yes.
Okay.
it sounds like a tagline, but I really believe it. I want every student on our campus to feel they have a place on our campus and a voice on our campus. And I know that's not where we are yet.
I haven't actually asked any Native students, is this enough?
I think the university could do worse, you know, and so there are some things. For example, having a First Nations studies, and now having a First Nations PhD, having the multicultural center, having the First Nations center, bringing elders to campus. So I think there are some things that the university is doing well.
It sometimes felt like even though I had certain spaces that were really supportive, it felt like those spaces didn't always expand outside into the rest of campus.
Kind of like, was this really meant for me? Did you make this with the intent that a person of color or someone like, well, a Native or First Nations person would see this and how that would affect them? Because there's definitely been a lot of times in that program where it's like, this isn't meant for me. This was not made for me.
Where I feel seen and valued on campus is up in the FNS Center because I just feel at home and accepted here. And then basically everywhere else I don't, but it's just kind of because people they just don't seem to like care, I guess. I don't know. It doesn't seem like the right thing to say, but it just seems like people just don't, you just don't matter as much when you don't have a special space to be in. I don't know.
I think about folks who, you know, the difference between diversity and inclusion. And I've seen that in practice, right? You can see a diverse group, right? It's a diverse group because there's like a couple of students of color in it. But when you see the way folks interact or talk to people about the way that they feel, there's still an exclusion happening.
We need to do a better job of engaging directly with our students. So, you know, I think me and people and other people in my position need to just sit down with students and get some perspective and thoughts. Maybe break bread together and, you know, have meals now and then and just talk about the experience, what it's like, what's good, what's bad, what can we do differently.
All right, that was my presentation. Do you guys have any questions?
Good job, Kelly. I really loved it. That was my first time seeing the video, but it's really good.
Thank you.